So hi everybody, I hope you're well. It's very early in the morning and I thought I'd film this video while I was fresh and after just doing my workout. So as you all know, I'm after getting a dog in the last 4 months. He's constantly by my side. Come here, Socky. He's constantly by my side and he has become like truly my dearest companion. So just to make clear, when the Irish government announced that we would be advised to be working from home indefinitely, that's when I made the decision to get Socky. I always wanted my own dog. I had my own dog before I rescued him, but I had to give him away because the landlord wouldn't allow me to have him. So that was very sad for me, and I grew up with dogs my whole life. The reason I got this breed in particular was because I really admired Cavapoos. So if you don't know, a Cavapoo is a mixture between a Cavalier King Charles and a Poodle. And the reason why Cavapoos are so exclusive, particularly in Ireland, I find, especially in Dublin, they're 10 a penny. You find them in every park. I'll put up a picture of them, but I'm sure you've seen them. Cavapoos were the first designer dog breed, as in they were the first dogs to be mixed. The Cavalier King Charles was the sort of like regal dog that the royals had, with big floppy ears, and they actually loved that dog so much they would get portraits made of it. And then obviously the Poodle is like the smartest dog breed. So they use Cavalier King Charles to, like the clues in the name with the King Charles, they use them to like hunt ducks, and like they were like a hunting dog in the hunting pack, which is amazing. Big floppy ears, really cute, the royals loved them. And then they had the idea to make the dog a little bit more astute, a little bit smarter. So that's why they mixed the Poodle with it. It became extremely smart dog, but also looked really cute, because if you see here from the picture, you have the floppy ears from the Cavalier, but then you have the curly hair from the Poodle. So I had done my research. I've had, like in our house, we've had every type of a dog. I didn't want a big dog, I wanted a small dog, non-shed, and one that was easy to train. Poodle is very easy to train. I didn't want an out-and-out poodle because I found them a little bit like cat-like almost. They're can be a little bit snobby. I like the Cavalier. I liked what I heard about it, that it was, you know, like, I didn't know how needy the Cavalier would be in the dog, but anyway, that's where the Cava bit comes from. So I have been looking for ages at Cavapoos, and I wasn't, like, a lot of people had told me that they're extremely needy dogs, that they can be a bit mental. So I decided to hold off, because then it seemed like we were going back to the office in September. But then in July, in June, yeah, it was early June when I got in contact with the lady. This lady had mixed Cavapoo with Maltese, which I thought was amazing, because Maltese are known for being like quite chilled, and a very nice dog. And I was like, okay, I have to go and see this. So I went and saw the puppies. Socky stood out to me immediately. He was the biggest, he was a boy, he was the eldest like me, so we just clicked, and that was it. And he's been here ever since. So these are the 5 things I wish I knew before I got a puppy. So the first thing is that the amount of time they take up in your day. So I would say between your attention on them and walking them, you're talking 2 hours out of the day. So that 2 hours before, I probably would have been on my phone or scrolling or something. Now that 2 hours on social media has gone to him, simply because you need to feed them, you need to groom them, you need to play with them, you need to take them to the toilet, and also you need to take them for walks. And like, Socky's only a puppy, but he still needs 2 20-minute walks a day. So no matter how I'm feeling, no matter what the weather is, I have to take him out morning and evening. It's just like a non-negotiable. The next thing I learned is that we can't give them everything they need, like we as humans. And I think I kind of missed this point growing up because we always had lots of dogs and they were always playing with each other. When you get a dog on their own, you need to socialize them with other animals. So like I make a point of bringing Socky to the dog park. Oh, by the way, his name is Socrates, after my favorite philosopher. I think that point has been made many times. You have to bring them to the dog park, you have to socialize them with other animals, get them on the lead early, get them used to other humans. It's so important, and it's something I didn't do wrong or anything like that. It's just, it's something I didn't appreciate, and that's why I'm kind of having the thought like maybe a second dog would be a good idea, because when you do leave them, and that's the point I'm going to get on to in a minute, which is practical around being a lawyer, being a professional, and they do get very lonely. So the third point is on leaving them on their own. So what I did was with Socky was I built it up over time. So like during the summer I'd go for a 2-hour cycle, I'd leave him out the back, and then when the time actually came to go to work, what I did was I left in the morning time, left him, and I had taken him for a walk. He was whatever asleep, and then I had left some of his treats around the house for him to find, and then I came back at lunchtime, checked on him, had a play with him, took him for a little walk, and then went away then for like 4 hours. So that was probably the longest he was left without me, but he did absolutely fine. I think I was more nervous than he was. I think the key is like making sure the telly is on, making sure they can just go to the toilet, like has the back door, and making sure that they have enough like stimulation, like enough toys that they can find around the house and stuff, so that they're not super bored. But I did feel really bad, and like that was only when we were like doing the 1 day a week in the office. I felt awful, and in fairness to like my bosses, they were super accommodating around Socky. They were like, if you want to go home to Socky, you can. So I think that's the other point. You kind of need to tell whomever you're working for that, you know, like it's very important to you that the dog is looked after and all of that. I'm lucky that like both of my bosses, they love dogs and they understand what it's like to have a puppy. So yeah, you kind of need to get management buy-in almost. The fourth thing is the cost around dogs. Now, like obviously I know I'm in Dublin, so the cost of everything is pushed up, but like doggy daycare is anything between 25 and 40 euro for a night. You're not necessarily guaranteed that the person's going to be decent, so you have to factor that in if you have to do anything. Like for example, I have to go to court next week, so like that's like 2 nights for Socky that I have to factor into the cost. And like, yeah, so the food and stuff isn't expensive. Like a bag of kibbles is a tenner. Like I don't spend too much on his food, but I do get him proper treats. So I do get him like natural treats, ones that are not made with lots of chemicals, because I did notice that when he has more chemicals, he is a bit more hyper. So yeah, and then like the toys and stuff I get from Amazon, so they're not that expensive. It's more the initial cost of buying the dog is expensive, like buying, so they need all their injections at the start. You're talking roughly 250 euro for all the injections. They need to get a booster, which is another 50 quid, another 50 quid then for the kennel jab, and then I paid, I think it was like 45 euro for 3 tablets for his worms tablet, which he gets once a month. And then vet visits as well on top of that. So it's not a cheap endeavour. Now, the last point I will make is the most positive one, and that is I had no idea how much of an impact a dog would make on my life. Always been a dog lover, but having your own dog is something different. So it's a lot of work, it's a lot of responsibility. You constantly are thinking about them. You're like, even like for example, if I'm in here in my office and he's out there and I call him and he doesn't come, like my heart stops, because like if anything happened to him, I would be, I don't know what I would be, but I wouldn't be right. When I'm away from him, I'm constantly thinking about him. It's just, you develop a bond with them. It's amazing. I feel like now Socky and I can talk to each other. Like sometimes he comes in here and he'll just go ruff and I'll be like, oh, your ball's under the bed. I just know like that particular bark means his ball is under his bed, or he'll do another type of bark which I know he needs to go to the loo. Or if we're in the kitchen and he'll kind of like do this like low kind of like a little bit of a he's looking at me now, like he'll do a little bit of like a wolf woo. That means he wants a treat from the fridge. So I think maybe we've just been spending way too much time together, haven't we? We've been in each other's pockets 24/7. Come up here now. I just want to show the people. Come up here. Come up. Socky, up. Good boy. Up. Yeah, so training poodle mix is very, very easy. Because they are just so super intelligent. They pick things up really quick. Socky, look. Who's that? They're very, very astute dogs. So I just want to show you guys. So because the poodle have curly hair, you have to be very careful. All of this needs to be groomed a lot. Socky. And because of the Maltese, and I remember Sumi, she had a Maltese. I remember she was always saying that you really need to clean around their eyes a lot. It gets very clumpy. So around Socky's eyes gets very clumpy. Now this is the other thing. You'll see they bark if they see or hear something they don't like. Now I've trained Socky not to bark loud because we have neighbours, and like I tell him no. Socky, no, and he actually won't bark, which is good. But his instinct is to go ruff, because like he wants to figure out, you know, what's out there, which is usually cats. So insofar as like living in an estate, he's excellent. So yeah, you'll see the floppy ears from the Cavalier. He's got the button nose and the eyes from the Maltese, and then he's got the hair of the poodle. And they are super lovable animals. They love their mommy. If they have a mommy, they love their mommy. They're very, very loyal. Like Socky does everything he can to defend me. He knows he's my baby and I know he's my baby. So from that perspective, they make, like, basically you get out of it what you put into them. Like if you love them, and if you show them love and affection, they will really love you back, and they'll always be there for you. They crave attention. They crave you being near them. They love the sound of your voice if you're their master. It's their happy place. Like when Socky's distressed, and I, you know, like rub him, whatever, like his heart rate will come down. Like it's been a few times where things have happened to him and like literally all he needs is just a pet and his heart rate will come down and he will chill out. So yeah, they're very predictable like that. But yeah, so all in all, I don't regret the decision. I think if you weren't a dog lover, you'd be in trouble, and that's how I can understand that so many dogs do end up in care, because they really are hard work. They're not something to, it's not a decision to be taken lightly. They look really cute and all of that, but behind the cuteness, there's a being, there's a soul. I do believe they have a soul. I know if that's kind of hippy tippy, but they have a character, they have a personality, and they bring meaning. So that's why I think they should be revered. But yeah, Socky, say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate you. I really appreciate you, Socky, and everything you've done for me in the last few months. Okay? I don't think I ever told you that. I really appreciate you. I know you appreciate me, don't you? Even though you don't say it, but I know you're there for me. Okay, bye everybody.